Thank you to the International Joint Commission for organizing this event and for inviting me to celebrate your efforts on behalf of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and the whole government. As you know, for over 100 years, the IJC has prevented and resolved disputes over water between Canada and the United States under 1909 Boundary Waters Treaty. For more than a century, it has fulfilled its aim of pursuing the common good of both countries while acting as an independent and objective advisor to our respective governments. It is part of the flourishing cooperation that emerged between United States and Canada at the beginning of the 20th century and that has continued ever since. As changing conditions in our water basins keep affecting economic, social, and environmental interests, including in transborder areas, the IJC's role remains vital. It has been great for 100 years, but please continue. The Government of Canada appreciates the importance of the Commission's work. And now I have a long paragraph explaining what we will do with our investment. Because we invested in the IJC. So, study water quality, quantity, and flooding issues in 4 Canada-United States boundary basins, the Upper Great Lakes, Lake Champlain, the Richelieu River, Lake of the Woods, the Souris River. The IJC has been active in these basins and across our boundary areas that both link and divide our countries. Your strength flows from a collegial and independent approach to transboundary issues. You consult, you build consensus. It's long, but it's necessary. Please, we'll keep that this way. You seek public participation. You engage local governments and First Nations. You are objective and you rely on scientific research. Your work is quiet. Most Canadians and Americans don't know you exist. You're methodical, you're crucial. The impact you make is critical. Je tiens à remercier toutes les personnes qui travaillent dans ce domaine de la Commission mixte internationale pour vos efforts soutenus dans la gestion des eaux partagées entre les États-Unis et le Canada. Ces cours d'eau ont une énorme valeur économique, environnementale, symbolique pour les Canadiens et les Américains. L'histoire de la Commission et notre gestion des eaux partagées regorge d'exemples de défis que nous avons réussi à surmonter entre nos deux pays. Mais ce que je voudrais dire maintenant, c'est qu'il faut continuer pour nos deux pays. Mais il faut trouver une façon d'influencer le monde dans ce sens. Trouver une façon de faire en sorte que notre expertise qu'on a développée, nos deux pays, eh bien, profite au monde entier. The management of water worldwide, that's what I was saying in French, will soon demand our attention. And we have developed an expertise of our own that will serve our two countries for more than a century to come, but that we should share with the world, with many others in the world, the skills and expertise that we have acquired in the last 100 years through the work of the IJC. As the effects of climate change become more significant and widespread, water-related issues that are, forget climate change, water issues are already a huge problem. Climate change will make them worse. So that's the way to say. Water-related issues will be exacerbated more than ever. In fact, water will be, I think, it's my personal view, water will be the most important issue, the most crucial one, the main problem of the 21st century, water. Freshwater oceans. In fact, nearly 1 billion people worldwide, a sixth of humanity, have absolutely zero access to clean water right now. 2.4 billion are without improved sanitation facilities. Half of the world's hospitals' beds are filled with people suffering from a waterborne illness. The UN estimates that sub-Saharan Africa alone loses 40 billion hours per year collecting water, and the vast majority of those collecting are women and girls. Water insecurity is crippling societies and at the root of far too many conflicts. Joint management of transboundary watershed has been a source of stability and pride for us. For too many, it is the driver of conflict. The acceleration in climate change, the increased frequency of droughts and flooding, the increasing variations in water flows and in the volume of hydro generation necessary for agriculture, energy production, and human consumption are all conspiring to make access to water, water management, and water security a critical challenges for all of us. The challenge of ensuring that waters are managed jointly and effectively will grow from around the world. On the world's 263 international water basins, 158 lack any type of cooperative framework. As water-related issues are exacerbated by climate change, the risk for tension and conflict will rise, particularly where there are no cooperative frameworks. Throughout the world, states must constantly make choices and decisions about water management. For example, water shortages could be addressed through irrigation improvement in one country to the disadvantage of countries downstream if there is not a keen attention to a conflict-sensitive approach and nor proper cooperation. Joint management practices and governance mechanism, as carried out through the work of the IGC, provide a model for how boundary and transboundary water disputes can be managed and avoided. We should share this model with other states for them to apply to invent their own IGC. By emphasizing, I'm repeating a bit the same thing. So to conclude, I think you have seen my point. The world's water resources would be more sustainable if we have more IGCs in the world. Water governance would be exemplary, and the potential for conflicts would go down dramatically. So two things. Continue to serve Canada and United States as you have done. Give us the best advices. Make sure that you are optimally effective for our countries. But start to think how we may export this model to the world. Oh, they will invent their own IGC. It will be different than ours, but it will be the same goal. Because otherwise the world that we will prepare for our children and grandchildren will not be very good. I want our grandchildren to have an opportunity to catch a bigger bass than the one I caught. Thank you very much.